What's up, my PT peeps? One Eye Bri back to talk about a theory of how Daryl and Dwight could be the perfect weapon against Negan. Spoiler warning if you're not up to date on the show and the comic and you don't want to know some of this information. General spoiler warning about The Walking Dead. So there you go. Basically, MOVIEPILOT.com article will reference. They kind of packaged it pretty awesome, and it's pretty cool to see the differences in what may or may not occur with Daryl and Dwight. For years now, the Walking Dead comic book fans have been wondering what would happen to Daryl once Dwight got introduced to the show. That's because in the books, Dwight carries a crossbow, which he's pretty good with, and sports some Daryl-esque traits. Now the wait is over, and D is not only a part of the show, but he's also Daryl's current keeper, and time has come for us to get into the theory land to figure out how things might play out. So in the comic, Dwight is there, Daryl doesn't exist. So Daryl is kind of a knockoff of comic Dwight, TV show Dwight somewhat. Then now they're both together. So you see Daryl versus Dwight, Dwight versus Daryl, season 6. We saw that, and now it's coming to fruition here. So we'll give 3 options. The first option is enter Dwight, exit Daryl, which I think is highly unlikely. But Daryl's death has been playing with the Walking Dead fans' imaginations and feelings for quite some time, and the producers never miss an opportunity to put our favorite redneck in harm's way. Last season alone, there was the Saviors shooting at Daryl, Abe, and Sasha on the road, Dwight and Sherry in the woods, more Saviors on the roadblock, then Dwight's reappearance when he killed Denise and shot Daryl, and finally Negan's most dreaded lineup this season started with Daryl at the butt end of his own crossbow after he punched Negan and his imprisonment in the sanctuary. So they have been teasing Daryl possibly dying, but I highly doubt that Daryl Dixon, Norman Reedus, will not be on the show because I can't picture the show without Daryl, and the fangirls love him. While the premiere took 2 beloved characters from us already, no one is safe in The Walking Dead, and it could be that Daryl might have to die to give room for Dwight's story to unfold this season. It's been fairly obvious from the get-go that Dwight is quite happy being Daryl's cosplay. He took his bike and crossbow when they first met, and now he's even wearing his vest. But the truth is Dwight has improved his bow skills, and having 2 archers on the show might be overdoing it a little. That's for sure. Option 2. Dwight's number is up, which I think may occur. The fact remains that Daryl is Rick's right-hand man now, especially now that Glenn and Abe are gone. Negan's words to Rick about how tough it is to do things without a go-getter at his side could have foreshadowed Daryl's demise, or it could mean that it's Negan who will be losing his wrenchman sometime soon. Bear in mind that on the show, Simon is Negan's right arm, not Dwight, and while he may be a hustler, as Negan put it, in the hierarchy of the sanctuary, Dwight is just as expendable as any other foot soldier. I don't believe he's expendable as any basic foot soldier. He does have some chain of command, and he's up there on levels with other lieutenants of Negan, but I could see that happening. That would be crazy if Negan killed Dwight, or Dwight dies sacrificing himself for Daryl. But Team D kicks some butt. Option 3 is most likely to occur, and I would think this would happen. After everything the Saviors have done, it seems very unlikely that neither fans nor the characters might forgive them anytime soon, but Daryl is a smart guy, smart enough to understand that the enemies of his enemy are his friends. In that spirit, we could be in for a wild ride when Daryl and Dwight team up against Negan. Yes, it could happen. In this week's episode, The Cell, Daryl made it clear he understood Dwight's reasons for going back and joining Negan, which is more than anyone could expect considering Daryl's precarious situation. Throughout the episode, it could seem that Dwight had a severe grudge against Daryl for some inexplicable reason and simply want to break him in any way possible. But with a little more objectiveness, it's easy to see that Dwight actually wanted Daryl to succeed and get into Team Negan. Hence, this frustration and tough love in The Cell, constantly reminding Daryl that the options were limited and quite poor except for one. So they join together and they kick ass. I think that is going to happen. In the comics, Dwight is terribly resentful of Negan, and in his desire for revenge that prompts him to go to Ezekiel with vital information about Negan. Actually, it's only because of Dwight's intel that the Saviors decide it's worth teaming up and going after Negan in the first place, since Dwight's privy information gives them the advantage they need. So it could very well be that Dwight is simply trying to recruit Daryl into the Saviors so that he has an ally to defeat Negan, since Daryl has a whole community of his own to back him up. That is most likely to occur. As we know in the comics, Negan is overthrown, Dwight takes over, and carries on. But you can see the resentment building in the episode, especially with where he turns and how Negan rubs it in his face a bunch of times. You know, Dwight isn't the best guy right now, but he will turn it around, especially when he meets up with Ezekiel and Rick and everything. If Daryl and Dwight eventually pair up, The Walking Dead will have found a pretty intelligent solution for the double Archer problem, a post-apocalypse task force. That would mean that survivors get not only one, but two inside men to counter-strike Negan from inside his womb walls. This gives Rick, Jesus, and their gang a much bigger advantage than in the books. It all seems plausible, since Daryl is great at letting bygones be bygones, but the question is, will Rick be cool with it? So that's crazy, a counter-strike Negan force, and that's what you need. Daryl and Dwight teaming up is a plausible thing, and I think that's most likely to occur. They're just going to need another crossbow, that's for sure, because they can't share one. But Daryl didn't yield, he didn't give in, so I think he's going to have that. And Dwight probably saw that and was like, wow, Daryl is sticking to his guns. I kind of respect that. I like that about him. And so that you can see that he's going to use him as an ally, possibly on that too. I think Sherry helps Daryl escape as well. We'll see. But Dwight, he's not the best guy. He's not the worst guy. He's kind of stuck in a precarious situation himself with Sherry and Negan. But you can just see how Negan's like, ha ha, I own you, boy. You can't do nothing around me. You ain't got a dick no more. Good luck with that. But this is a scary picture by that photo portrait on there. Definitely there with Dwight. Brand name, but it's great value. Who do you like? Daryl? Dwight? Nobody? Neither? Did you see the Donald Trump walker? Now, we don't know if it's confirmed, but it is. But it looks pretty damn good as Donald Trump on there as well from the episode 7.3, The Cell. There you go, guys. Like, share, subscribe. Grimes Dixon 2016. This isn't a democracy anymore. There you go, guys. Thank you for watching. You guys are awesome.